In BIM 360, project administrators create checklists from templates for tracking quality, punch lists, safety and commissioning progress. These checklists can be worked on in the field to keep a project on track. There are two types of templates to create a checklist. One is an account level template. This template will allow you to be shared with multiple projects. These templates can only be edited by the account administrator of the company that manages them. We then also have project level templates. These allow for multiple checklists to be made but can only be used in a single project. We're going to create a project level template. Selecting the module selector, we can then choose field management. Within the field management interface, we can create both a checklist and a template. For this to work correctly, we need to create a template first. Selecting the Templates tab will give us the ability to create a new template. Shown on screen, we have two options. One we can import for an existing spreadsheet, which we will cover later in this lesson. Firstly, we're going to create a new template. Selecting the Create New Template button will allow us to add the title, description and type of the template. Here we're going to add in the checklist template title. We can then add a basic description if required for the checklist. Under the type drop-down, we can choose from various different types, from quality, punch list, safety and commission. For this checklist, I'm going to choose the quality option. We then have options for creating issue settings, which can be automatically created when a checklist item becomes non-compliant. We then have an option to allow adding a section assignee, which means that we can use this to assign it to a particular project member. We then have an option that will require on completion a checklist signature, toggling these options on or off as required. In this instance, I'm just going to require a signature on completion. Selecting the Next button will allow me to create the information required within the template. Checklist templates are made up of different sections. These are shown in the template outline section on the left hand side. For each template section, we can then have a number of items within the checklist. Simply give the new section a title. Once you have added the section title, we can then add each of the individual items. For the new item, I'm going to add the checklist information. Here we're going to add, are the latest revisions of drawings, specifications, etc. available? So this is the question that will be asked within the checklist, and then we have a designated response. Selecting the drop-down, we can choose from the different responses that will be required when creating the checklist. We can go from yes, no, to multiple choice, to text, numeric and a date. In this instance, I'm going to leave it at a yes, no, non-applicable option. When you're creating this, we can also create an issue auto creation status. This means that if the checklist item is no or non-applicable, we can choose the defaults for the issue type if the item is non-compliant. If you wish to add another item to the checklist, use the Add New Item field. Selecting this will then put in a new section 1.2. Here we can add the next item for the checklist. Once we're happy with the new item, select the blue tick. Again, choose the drop-down response as required. Next, I'm going to add a section 1.3. Simply select the Add New Item and then add the item description. Select the blue tick once complete, then simply add all the required items for the checklist. Once we are happy with all the items in the initial sections, we can then choose the required signatures option. Selecting this button will allow us to add a specific role or company that need to sign this checklist. We can then specify the role or company required to add their signature. Here I'm going to add in the student all role. Once we are happy, select the blue tick. We can then add in multiple signatures if required by simply adding the Add Signature button. If you want to remove it, select the More menu and then choose Delete. You can review each section of the checklist by selecting the template outline on the left hand side. Once we are happy with all the sections and topics added, we can then choose the Publish button to make this template public. Selecting the Publish button will complete the process and add this template to the list of templates. Selecting the Import button will allow us to import a template from an existing spreadsheet. Choosing the Import Templates button, we can then choose the Next field. Here we can then browse to a file from the dataset. Navigating to the Checklists folder, we can then choose the Drainage File and Surface template. Selecting Open and then the Import button, this will automatically import the template and create the checklist. Selecting the Close button, we can then refresh the screen and review the template checklist. Here we've automatically imported the drainage template. Selecting into this, we can then review the checklist which has just been created. Here you will see the checklist has various different sections with individual topics in each. We have now successfully created a template manually and also used the import feature to create different project templates. Selecting the Close button will complete the process. These templates can now be used for the creation of checklists within the project.